Some women don't destroy a man loudly. They don't throw plates. They don't yell. They don't explode. They break him quietly. They break him with disappointment disguised as patience, with control disguised as care, and with expectations disguised as love. And the scariest part, a man rarely notices it happening, not because he's stupid, but because he's trying so damn hard to be good. This is how it begins, and more importantly, how you stop it before it ends who you are. The women who do the most damage never look dangerous at first. They look calm, composed, reasonable. They don't attack your character. They question your effort. They don't insult you. They simply point things out. They don't raise their voice. They raise your anxiety. And because you love her, you take it. You justify it. You try harder, not knowing that the moment you start defending your worth instead of expressing it, you've already stepped into a psychological trap every man knows the moment I'm about to describe. You walk into the room confident, and one look from her pulls the air out of your lungs. Not anger, not rage, just that subtle, disappointed inhale, that tiny shake of her head, that soft, quiet judgment that says, "You're not enough." She never says it directly. She doesn't have to. Your mind fills in the blanks because you're already trying to meet a standard she hasn't even communicated. That's how the shrinking begins. Before you realize it, you're performing instead of living. You change your choices. You adjust your tone. You walk on eggshells. You overthink every sentence, not because she's abusive, but because she's mastered the art of giving affection only when you do things her way. A man doesn't lose himself overnight. He loses himself one compromise at a time. Let me avoid upsetting her. Let me keep the peace. Let me try harder. But peace built on self-abandonment isn't peace. It's quiet destruction. Here's the pattern most men miss. Her expectations grow. Yours shrink. Her standards become conditions. Yours become sacrifices. And the more you bend, the more she believes bending is what you're supposed to do. Not because she's evil, but because you trained her that your boundaries don't matter. A woman who never hears no will never respect your yes. This is where the second phase begins. The control wrapped in concern. Where were you? Why didn't you answer? Who were you with? I just worry about you. I'm only asking because I care. But you know the truth. She's not checking on your safety. She's checking on your obedience. And every time you justify yourself, every time you explain, every time you hand over your privacy like a guilty teenager, you think you're proving loyalty, but you're proving weakness. So you shrink your life to avoid conflict. You stop going out with friends. You skip the gym. You stop calling family. You stop doing the things that give you energy, not because she forbids it, but because the interrogation afterward drains you more than the activity gives you. That's how a man becomes small, not by force, but by exhaustion. And this is where the damage becomes real. Your world shrinks. Your confidence fades. Your voice gets quieter. Your back slouches. Your freedom turns into guilt. And the worst part, you start believing you deserve the treatment. Her complaints become your identity. Her moods become your responsibility. Her disappointment becomes your mission. You start fixing a problem that isn't yours. And never was a man who lives under constant correction eventually loses sight of who he is. He stops making decisions. He stops having opinions. He stops dreaming. He stops leading. He becomes a man who survives his relationship instead of thriving in his life. And she will say, "I'm just trying to help you be better." But listen to me closely. Help doesn't feel like erasure. Every man reaches the moment of truth differently. For some, it's a birthday she forgets. For others, it's the night she criticizes his effort after he tried everything. But for most, it's a quiet moment, alone, staring at yourself in the mirror and thinking, when did I stop being me? That question is the beginning of awakening. Some women don't want a partner. They want a project. They want someone to mold, shape, and correct. It's not love. It's management. They want control. They can call care. Power they can call communication. Superiority they can call standards. And you become the canvas for their unresolved wounds. Not all women, but the wrong one will drain a man without raising her voice once. Eventually, something snaps. Not violently, not dramatically, just quietly. The moment you realize you could give everything, and it still wouldn't be enough. And you stop chasing, stop performing, stop explaining, stop apologizing, because the truth hits you. You can't save a relationship by sacrificing yourself to it. When a man reclaims himself, the dynamic changes instantly. He stands straighter, speaks slower, stops over-explaining, says no without guilt, and she feels it. Oh, trust me, she feels it. Some women get better when a man gets stronger. They relax, they soften, they respect what they were subconsciously craving. Others become worse because your strength threatens the control they built their identity on. Either way, your awakening reveals the truth. This is the part no one tells you. When a man rebuilds his identity, he doesn't become colder. He becomes clearer. He stops reacting. He starts deciding. He stops defending his worth. He starts embodying it. He becomes a man again, not a regulated version of himself. This isn't aggression. This is alignment. A woman who truly loves you will not fear your boundaries. She will feel safer because of them. She won't shrink under your strength. She will rise with it. She won't punish your independence. She will respect it. She won't drain you. She will add to you. Peace is the proof of love. Chaos is the proof of dysfunction. Men stay in destructive relationships because they fear losing her. But the truth is, you're already losing yourself. And if you have to abandon your identity to keep someone, they were never yours to begin with. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It's survival. A woman who loves you will want you to stay whole, not small. So here's the truth every man eventually learns. You don't fix this by arguing. You don't fix it by trying harder. You don't fix it by proving your worth. You fix it by remembering it. Because the man you were before the disappointment, before the guilt, before the subtle manipulation, he's still there, waiting, wanting to breathe again. So to every man listening, you were not made to walk on eggshells. You were not made to shrink to fit someone's comfort. You were not made to apologize for existing. And you were not made to be destroyed quietly. Wake up, stand tall, reclaim the parts of yourself you forgot, and love from strength, never from fear. Because the right woman won't break you. She'll meet you where you stand, not where you kneel.